And you know what? Last week we talked about like does it automatically make them contenders, right? When we were talking about, the Grizzlies and all that shit that happened with Desmond Bain. Um, and I think it definitely improved it and moved the needle, unlike what Jay felt. But I think this moves the needle a lot more for the Rockets, man. Like they're gonna have a really good team, especially if KD can stay healthy. They're gonna be a problem. Yo, they finished in second place last year. They won 52 games. Like, yo, the Rockets are secretly getting really good. Now they can't do that run and gun shit like OKC. OKC is still gonna, be that type of team, but the Rockets can play defense. They got the other twin that gave us a fucking headache, Thompson over there. They got Sengun, Fred Van Fleet. He's always good. Yo, adding KD right there, it's gonna be a real big problem. And I think this is interesting. I'm glad he stood his ass on the Western Conference. Stay the fuck over there because we all know, and maybe we can talk about later that there's a whole bunch of teams getting injured, and a whole bunch of players, and they're gonna need the help out here in the Eastern Conference. But I'm glad he didn't come over here to give us so we'd have to deal with that. So that's one less headache that we have to worry about, and hopefully now the Knicks have an easier path to win a chip next year. But I personally agree and think that KD, I think I wouldn't say contenders, but they could definitely go to the finals. I mean, the Western Conference Finals. Like, are they gonna win? I think that's where they
I
have to
think I
go.
think I think KD to Houston, it did more than move the needle. It really made them really, really formidable. I was talking with Ryan and one of our friends, Bronson, and we were talking about who they lost in terms of the trade itself. And I don't feel that Jalen Green really was a loss in my book. I think he regressed in his second year. And I don't think that even though Dylan Brooks is a baller, he's a hooper. I don't think that he's like those two together combined. I don't think make up a KD. I think KD he's a good defender. He's not a super defender, but he's a good defender. He can get a shot from anywhere, whether you want to go mid, you want to stretch it out and go 3-pointer. He can go to the cup. He's a headache as far as whoever has to guard against him, being able to handle the ball at 6'11. It's just overall just a better look. Now you pair him up with, like you said, Van Vliet and Sengun, Alpha Sengun, but you also got coaching over there that knows how to plan for that type of style of basketball. He did it very well in Boston, and I don't see any reason why he can't duplicate that type of performance with the amount of talent that he has over in Houston. The second part, just to kind of piggyback on what you said, it absolutely gives the Knicks a much smoother path because you're going to see that Boston ain't going to be the same next year. We know Milwaukee ain't going to be the same because they may not even have Giannis, whether he comes to the Knicks or not. He won't be, I don't think, in Milwaukee. Plus, they're missing Dame, and then you also have Indiana that'll probably take a little bit of a step back, even though I think Indiana is the team that really could probably survive it more than Boston and Milwaukee. I think that the team that's set up best to perform without that player would be Indiana. It creates one of those moments where you'll see that New York, no matter what, we still have pretty much all our pieces intact.
Q, I'm going to answer your question specifically, and I also want to piggyback off a little bit what Jay said. But to answer your question specifically, no, it wasn't an argument. It's the market price at this point. The market price. The market
Mhm.
was set. Any piece that moves is going to be any major piece that moves is going to be similar to what we just saw. So no, the Rockets did not overpay. What the Rockets did is they put themselves in a win now window, right? They were number 2 in the West last year,
Mhm.
and that was against already stacked West, right? And not for nothing, for whatever reason, KD, Book, Bees, that shit just wasn't working in Phoenix for whatever reason. These are 3 future Hall of Famers, so to speak. Phoenix absolutely loses in this case because Jalen Williams, and clearly, what Phoenix is just showing you is this is going to be Book's team. They're invested with Book. Booker's going to be a lifelong son. That's it. They're trying to figure out what to put around him and how to put around him and how to make it run. And that's where the picks come in. So they have to ask for that. It's only fair if they're going to move a piece like KD, who literally is a win now player. He's a win now kind of player. So the Rockets want to win right now. They're in a better position to win right now. I don't think Phoenix made that move to be a win now team next year. They're saying they're showing you who they're investing in at this point. That's all. Because you got to look at what has Phoenix given up over the last 4 or 5 years. They've given up Ayton. They've given up a lot of shit except for one piece that they keep trying to build around, and it's just for whatever reason they haven't hit their stride. Book is still in his prime. Book is still Book, right?
Mhm.
But they like,
Mhm.
yo, I think they feel that they got 4 or 5 years to put the right piece around Book to make an actual legitimate run.